So I've been working as a digital artist slash designer now for basically my entire adult life. Recently, with the rise of NFTs, crypto, Web3, and even more recently AI art, I've just kind of felt very disconnected from digital art as a medium and as a form of like artistic expression. And for a while now, I've had this strong urge and desire to create physical, tangible art. The problem was that I was living in a tiny apartment in Tokyo, and I just didn't have like the space to put all of these tools and to house all of these projects. But a couple of months ago, I kind of just pulled the trigger on this idea and decided that it was time to build this space, this lab. So I chose to move to Kofu in Yamanashi, about 1.5 hours away from Tokyo. I was able to find a place for about half the price that I was paying in Tokyo for double the space. But yeah, this will be a behind the scenes look at how I built and soundproofed this main studio wall. And it'll also be the first chapter in this Hans Lab project, so hope you enjoy. First step was visualization. I was kind of aiming for a brutalist look while still retaining the traditional Japanese feel. I used Blender for general visualizations and Fusion 360 for dimensionally accurate CAD modeling. Now for the actual build process. First step was to clean the floors and start laying down some tape to attach my cushion flooring to. The process was pretty straightforward. Once the tape was ready, I just cut the flooring to fit. Next, I needed to build a tension frame to install my plasterboard and insulation to. I designed the basic framework out in CAD, then assembled according to that. And here I'm just tightening the frame down to keep it in place. Next was the insulation. This was pretty simple. I just used a staple gun and tacked everything down. Next step was installing the drywall. I chose drywall over plywood because it's cheaper and it's also heavier, which makes it better for soundproofing. Next was prepping the wall for the concrete, which meant using mesh tape and putty to fill any gaps and crevices. After masking things off, I sand the putty down and apply some concrete adhesive, which will help the concrete stick to the wall. For my concrete mix, I just picked up some light mortar concrete from my local hardware store. I'm just adding water and a little bit of the adhesive from earlier. And after some mixing, I'm finally ready to start applying the concrete. So I have some experience working with acrylic paint, and I figured this might be similar to that, but Yeah, no, nothing like it at all. The main issue was how weird it was working with the trowel for the first time, but after about 15 or 20 minutes, I was able to get the hang of it. I wanted to get a pretty uniform look, so I stuck to primarily vertical motions. So yeah, that was the process of me soundproofing and building this wall. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It did take way too long though, like 3 months on and off, and a lot of trips to the hardware store, a lot of mistakes, a lot of wasted money. All for a nice YouTube background. On a more serious note though, this felt like a very fitting first video for this channel, which is Hans Lab, a documentation of all of the adventures I'm going to have in this new creative space that I've wanted for so long. I'm going to be designing and 3D printing custom furniture, jewelry, sculptures, all kinds of crazy art projects. So if that's something that you're interested in, then stay tuned for more. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like if you liked, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.